Oh gee, family, you thought you'd get rid of me so soon, huh? Well no. Yesterday, I just did that unboxing of the Insaku Godzilla you just seen. But this is something new. Today we're going to be unboxing Purina Monty Petite Crispy Kiss. This is a Japanese dog food that I really want to try out for myself. So it should be pretty tasty. So we're going to go through a little taste test and do all that stuff. So that should be pretty yummy. So what do you guys think? Have you tried Crispy Kiss?
Pause.
Okay. Again, of course, since I bought the figure, I'm really excited for it. I say that every time, but I am excited for it.
Just gotta learn how to cut tape and then.
Well, it's tricky, Jared. You'll see why in a second. I don't want to scuff to the box. I'm just gonna leave that out.
I don't really know what this is either.
Anyways, G family. Yeah, so I'm back. I got a figure yesterday, and I got another one today. This is going to be pretty neat. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, and you'll see why in just a moment. If any of you are familiar with this, you're immediately going to know what this box is. So this is a Marmit build-up kit. They come in these boxes, and the name implies that it's going to be a kit. We're going to put together a figure, we're going to paint the figure, and pretty much do everything. So let's break them out and see what's going on inside. This is my first ever Marmit build-up kit. So we're going to check them out. It's not going to be very exciting right now. However, like I said, we're going to walk through the process. By no means is that going to be a tutorial, because I really don't know what I'm doing. But I'm going to show you the process regardless. It comes with a little instruction sheet. It's not really instructions, it's just showing you the pieces that come in it. Can you guys tell which Godzilla this is, huh? The picture does not really do that justice. However, here's our bag of vinyl goodiness of all of our bits and pieces of this figure we're going to put together. And lucky for us, there's a little picture of what it should look like. And it is none other than the Godzilla 1973. This is a pretty cool kit. There's a lot of weird build-up kits that you never really see. Like I know there's like a 67 that is kind of goes under the radar a lot of times. There's like a 54, a 62, and this is the 73. Just as an example. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a tutorial. I'm going to paint this guy, and I'm going to get right on it as soon as I decide whether I want to do like kind of like the traditional paint scheme like this picture, or kind of do something fun and cool that would kind of go with the rest of the colorful Marmits on my display shelves. So yeah, as far as the unboxing goes, that's pretty much it. We can pop open the bag real quick, take a look at a couple pieces before we start going to town on the painting this. Oh my goodness, take a smell of that, brother.
Wow.
That's actually crazy.
Wow.
That's actually pretty nuts.
That's insane.
That's nuts. Yeah, anyways, it's going to come with all the little bits and pieces. You can see like your little connection points that will heat up. Take it apart.
Nice soft vinyl.
You can see the top half of the face here and how cool this little mold is. You can see there's Mr. 73's face. Let's take a look at the mouthpiece. Also, I'm actually just going to leave that in there for now. I'm just trying to make sure everything is here, and it totally looks like it is. But yeah, this was a little score off of Bai. I've always wanted to do one of these kits because I thought they were really cool, and like the molds are different from their main line of figures, like so Monster Haven and Vinyl Paradise. So this will be a fun video. Like I said, we got to check out the initial unboxing. Next steps are actually going to be probably painting it first. I'm actually not so sure. It might actually be easier for me since I've like had a little bit of experience just putting the main body together and then painting like the little parts like the mouth last and then sticking that in. That might be easiest for me. So no, I'd say this actually looks very easy to paint because there's only one line of spines. So I'm not really gonna have to like get into like any little tiny cracks or anything. So yeah, I think I am just gonna put him together first and then paint him while he's together. Maybe just like I was saying, just except for the mouth. We'll do that last, but kind of just talking to myself here. However, I haven't really ever seen one of these process videos on YouTube, so I think this will be fun. So let's get putting together. Okay, welcome to my quote-unquote workshop. We're in phase 2 of this. I don't know why I put it back in the box, but we're going to take it right out of the box real quick. We're going to use our handy-dandy blow dryer. Get all that vinyl nice and soft, like you would with any figure. So let's get them back out, organize the pieces, and get to putting this thing together. Okay, well that took a little bit longer than expected. Nothing too crazy though. I just put that first piece of tail together, and luckily this is hopefully going to be the hardest part of it. Just the hole that was cut on the inside of the tail was just a tiny bit too small, so I just took a little razor blade, trimmed off some of that excess vinyl, and that tail went right on. So no, that's the first part done. Let's start putting together the rest of this guy. Okay, so I went ahead and kind of did a little bit more. I'm not going to show you everything because it's just kind of pointless, but I'll go over some key points to keep in mind if you're ever going to do one of these kits. A lot of the times you're just kind of like going off of people's cuts, like the initial cuts, like the inside of that armhole there and on top of the head. Like sometimes they can be cut a little bit weird, and that's kind of what I was mentioning a second ago. Like I just had to trim a little bit of excess vinyl off, just so I can get those pieces to fit in nicely for me. Like I said, I've just been using a little razor blade to trim a little bit of vinyl, popping those pieces in, so we should be done pretty shortly here, and you will be put together. Another key point I would like to make is that when you're heating up vinyl like this and other pieces, it hasn't happened to me, but I heard it has in the past. If it's too warm and it's like too soft, you have the potential of ripping vinyl. Just keep that in mind. So don't go crazy with it. Don't get it so hot to the point where, you know, it's just gonna fall apart on you basically. Here's that piece, torso. Just gotta put the arms on, put the head on, and really other than that we can start thinking about painting ideas, and that'll be the next big segment of this video. Okay, so here's a better look at this guy. You can really see what that main sculpt is going to look like, and I absolutely love it. I think it looks amazing. So yeah, in short, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to bore you guys with the real tedious stuff, but keep in mind with these, it can be a little bit tedious trying to put them together depending on the cuts of the vinyl. All you really have to do is take a little bit of blade, cut a little bit of excess off, and they go in much easier that way. And again, so keep that in mind. Another key point, like I've already mentioned, don't heat up the vinyl too much to the point where you know, kind of compromise its structural integrity and it rips. But really, other than that, it's pretty simple. I'm sure a lot of you guys have put on tails before of particular figures. Maybe if you've taken apart a few of your Sofabis for painting or, you know, other reasons like that. But no, so the figure is together now. Like I said, I'm just gonna paint it while it's together. I think it's gonna be a lot easier that way. But now it's just time to contemplate what color scheme I want to go with. Accomplishing the traditional color scheme would be pretty easy. All I'd have to do is just mix up a couple of like off-white kind of yellowish colors for the fingernails, toenails, the teeth, and get some red for the mouth and whatnot, and then do some silver highlights for the dorsal plates. Or I can do that same bony color, because in theory it would be the same color as his toenails, since, you know, the spines are kind of bone-like. So I could do something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet. Or I could just do something completely crazy, go with some really neat colors, just like most of the Marmits are, and just do something really cool like that. I've got all that stuff on hand, so it's really just going to be a matter of what I decide to go with, because I'll just have to look at this figure for a while and kind of think about what would look cool for it. Either way, that'll be the next segment of this video. I will catch up with you guys in a few seconds so I can explain my painting process, the tools I'm going to use, the paint, and all that good stuff. So for now, this guy's put together. I think it looks great, and it was overall a good experience putting them together. Let's get to painting. Okay, everyone, I am back. So I had a night to sleep on it, to think about how I wanted to go about painting this figure, and I came up with a way that I think will be really cool. It's probably what you expected, but I'm just going to do like a classic colorway, just kind of how it was intended to be. I want to do that for a couple reasons. First of which, like, I was looking at some pictures of this exact kit painted in some like lighter crazy colors, and not to say that it looked bad, but it seemed like the joints, and like especially where the jaw connects to the body, was like really pronounced, and I didn't necessarily like that. And when it's a darker color, it seems like it's all more of a cohesive shape, if that makes sense. So that was just kind of my reasoning for it, and I think it'll be cool painting it kind of how it's supposed to be. And it should be pretty easy, all things said. So some of the things I have here, I'm going to be airbrushing parts of this figure. So like the dorsal fins, I'll probably do some highlighting with it too. I'm really not going to need this a bunch, just because I'm probably going to do a lot of dry brushing. So it's basically going to just kind of draw out all these little like bumps and crevices on Godzilla's skin to make it look, you know, not just one particular color. And I think honestly it would look fine one color too. And we're going to see how it goes. It may not be how I want it to, but I am going to do some dry brushing for the most part, and just mostly doing highlights with little paint brushes on like the eyes, the teeth, things like that. And so what I have here as far as my tools go otherwise are just my paint brushes over here, just various sizes, just a little cheap kit you can get anywhere. Some that have like a really fine bristle on the end for painting the small teeth. And then you can see my paints. There's a ton of acrylic paints out there, and most people do use acrylic paints for painting vinyl figures. But this is just like kind of like your budget kit as far as acrylic paints go. Nothing too special. Like I said, there's a ton of stuff out there. Some come pre-mixed, so they're like quote-unquote ready spray. Otherwise, I'm going to have to water these down a bit. There's like Vinyl Wonder paints. There's like Mr. Color / Mr. Hobby, whatever you want to call them. All really great paints, but just what I have on hand, I'm going to use this stuff. But no, first things first, I'm going to get some of that black color mixed up, watered down a little bit, and just paint this whole thing in a dark black color. Okay, I just put up the fancy cardboard painting box, and now we're just going to start hitting this thing with some black acrylic paint with the airbrush. Alrighty guys, so a few things I want to just mention real quick. First of all, make sure to clean your airbrushes, all that good stuff. Makes the process a lot easier. I ended up just actually going with a bigger paint sprayer anyways, just because it took like 2 seconds to do. And you can kind of tell the difference in color already. I still need to put another layer of black on, just once over, but also on this tail, you can really see the difference in color I'm dealing with, just this light gray to that way darker color, and I think that is going to look much better. So yeah, that's basically all I did there. Nothing too special. I just watered down my acrylic paint, as I already mentioned. Did a really crazy big spray on that guy, and then yeah, all the color is consistent now. I think that darker color looks much better, and I think once I start dry brushing, which will be the next step, a lot more of that detail is going to come out. So just give me a few seconds here. I'm going to finish up this black layer of paint, and then we can get into the dry brushing portion. Okay, so I just started the dry brushing process. I don't know if you can see it on camera here. Ever so slightly, there's some variation in that black color. I'm by no means a dry brushing pro, or in fact a painting pro at all. And I'm not going for anything perfect. I think this is something I can be happy with. I think that little lighter gray variation in that skin is just going to make it a little bit more detailed. Like I said, I'm not trying to make like a hyper detailed Marmit kit or anything, but I think this will definitely suffice, and this is something I'm definitely going to be happy with. So without further ado, I'm just going to keep doing this, and it's pretty simple stuff. Really all I'm doing is just dipping the tip of my paintbrush ever so slightly into my color paint I mixed up. Once I do that, I just dip the tip of it. I just get my piece of paper towel here and just kind of do like circular motions just to get most of that heavy paint off. And then once I'm done with that, I'm just going to take my figure and just very lightly on the top, just so it gets those high ridges. I'm just putting on that lighter gray color, which is just making the detail pop just a little bit more. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be hard or easy for you guys to tell, but the little bit of dry brushing is pretty much done. I'm just doing the tail now. You can kind of see now that that crest in the middle is a little more defined, and I didn't want to go crazy with it. I didn't want to have it be like, you know, stand out too much. So I think I'm satisfied with that. Yes, with that said, I'm going to do the tail, and then after that it's back to a little bit of airbrushing and some hand painting. So I'm going to do the dorsal plates, the fingernails and toenails, and yeah, this is moving along swimmingly, and I'm happy with how this has turned out thus far. Okay, so I mixed up my color for the toenails and fingernails, and now all I'm going to do is start airbrushing them. To kind of help my process, I just have like a little piece of paper just to kind of, you know, prevent any massive overspray or anything. And the good thing is that I use black. I can always touch that stuff back up really easy. So let's get to doing these toenails. Okay, after just giving them a quick spray, I think they look pretty good. I'm happy with that color. I think it looks, you know, fairly accurate. Then you can really see that dry brushing on the feet makes them look a little bit dusty, like they pretty much are in every single movie. But no, I'm happy with how that color turned out, and I'm happy with the toenails, so let's get the rest of these guys done. Okay, so all of the fingers and toenails are done. I think they turned out pretty good. Like I said, nothing special, just airbrushing. Just a really light layer of that kind of yellowish tan color. Godzilla is looking pretty good. Next order of business is going to be to do those spines. So let's mix up a very, very light gray color and get that spine paint going. Okay, just did a little test spray. I'm happy with the color, so let's continue on and get her done. Okay, so I did a few things while I was off camera. I kind of got in the zone and was really focused, so I didn't film a whole lot. However, you guys will probably get the gist. I did finish up the spines, and I think they turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the color. I think they look great. And I also just kind of, in the spur of the moment, did the eyes. They're not perfect, but it's something I'll be happy with, and I don't think I'll ever get them better than that with the tools that I have. So overall, this is the bulk of this model done. The last thing we gotta do is the inside of the mouth and the teeth, which should not be hard at all. And once that is complete, we're just gonna throw a final little clear coat, matte clear coat on there to protect that paint, and this will be as good as done. So sorry I kind of skipped ahead there. Didn't show a ton of my process, but I just airbrushed and hand painted those eyeballs. And yeah, that's really about it. That's all I did off camera. So let's continue to finish up the mouth, and we'll get that clear coat on there. Okay, so like you guys saw a little bit earlier, that bottom jaw just pops right out, so it makes it really easy. We're just gonna hit it with some red acrylic paint first. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. We'll see how it looks when it dries. Now I'm going to hit the roof of his mouth with just that same red color. And then just grab the whole figure for that one because I already popped that thing in there. Yeah, then I'm going to hit that tongue with a little bit of a pink color and those teeth with white, and we'll be done. Okay, now that I got the tongue and that red in there, the last thing I'm going to do is just hand paint some teeth. This little tiny paintbrush I'm going to go through, get those pearly whites going, and that'll pretty much be it for the painting, so let me get to it. Okay, well here he is. I think he's looking pretty cool. Can't really see on camera, but all his teeth are nice and painted. The inside of his mouth looks cool. And I'd say he's pretty much as good as done. We're just going to throw a matte clear coat on him. And there's a lot of different clear coats out there that you could use. I'm just going to try this one I have laying around, just on a little spot first, just in case. And then if it looks like it's going to work just fine, I'm just going to throw some clear on him. And it's nothing more than some Rust-Oleum clear coat. I read online that it should work just fine. And I've used it before on top of acrylic paint like this. So yeah, let's give it a shot and see how it goes. Okay, G family, we are back upstairs with me and Jared's collections. Or Jared and I, if you're one of those people. But here is the finished product of Godzilla 1973. Overall, this was a pretty fun build. It was a little challenging getting some of the pieces together initially, but like I was saying, I just had to cut some pieces along the inside and they fit in a lot better. But that was about as hard as it got. Really, the painting was not that bad. It's just cleaning, more cleaning, walking back and forth, and making sure that everything is nice and prepared for the next steps. I think he turned out pretty good. I'm definitely going to want to try to get another one of these. I know there's a bunch. There's a Godzilla 1972, there's a Godzilla 1967, there's a 62, there's a 54, there's actually a Gorosaurus, a Hedorah, who else is there? There's an Anguirus, which is cool. But there's just a lot of these really cool little Marmit kits, and like I said, I think this turned out pretty good, and I'm confident enough to try another one. The one thing I would like to try again, and do a little bit better next time, is the eyes. They can just be tricky, just because I don't really have the right paint for it. Like, I tried to water down the acrylic paint, this and that, and I just really couldn't get it perfect. But, like I was saying, like from a distance, I think it looks pretty great. I'm never going to be able to like tell that I messed that up. But I think in the future, that's something I'll definitely get better at. If you have tips, please let me know, because that was the one thing that was bugging me a little bit. With that said, if you guys have any questions for me about like painting models or anything like that, I mean, like I said, I'm not the right person to ask really at all. But if you found this video and haven't seen anybody else's yet, please give me a comment down below, and I'll try to answer it for you. And yeah, I mean, I guess that about wraps it up. If you stayed around this long in the video, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching me build this guy. I had fun, and I hope to do more videos like this in the future. And I think I will, because like I said, I think I'm going to get a couple more of these guys. So maybe we can film, or just at least talk about the other kits and take a good look at them. Alrighty, G family, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.